I have something for you to call me about, and I'm just fascinated by this. I have a list of the 265 members of Congress who, as the headline by the article by T.C. Sadek over at The Verge, the headline reads, the 265 members of Congress who sold you out to ISPs and how much it cost to buy them. So two things. One, give me a call and let me know who your member of either the House of Representatives or, either one of your two senators are. And the House members, actually, the numbers are even more mind-boggling. And I will tell you how much the internet service providers gave them that led, presumably, to this vote, to sell your internet history. What I'm not sure what to do is what to do next. And to this, I'm looking for your advice. Louise and I tried to brainstorm this morning for a few hours, and we're just, we're not writers for The Daily Show. We didn't come up with something really good or really funny. So say that you're living in the district of Congressman Roger Marshall, for example, in Kansas's 1st District. And you call up and you say, okay, my congressman is Roger Marshall. And so I say, okay, he took $20,500 from the internet service providers in order to give them. Now, see, I keep saying on this program, the most profitable investment in America is to buy a member of Congress. You spend $20,500 on a member of Congress and you make $20 million, maybe $200 million. Because these internet service providers, now that they know every single website you go to, now that they can read every email you send and receive, now that they can monitor your chats, your live chats, your instant messages, all that kind of stuff, now that they know who you bank with, now that they know what your credit card numbers are if you use them online, now that they know your Social Security number and your address, they can sell all of that information. They know if you're having an affair. They know if you're looking for a job. They know that if you're Googling, what's the cure for leukemia. They know if you take vitamins or herbs. They know if you have an embarrassing condition. They know it all. And one of the things that occurred to me is, okay, Roger Marshall took $20,500 for his vote, the Republican from Kansas's 1st District. So, should we try and raise $20,500 and buy Roger Marshall's private information from whoever his internet service provider is and reveal it to the public? There's several GoFundMe pages to do that right now. But Roger Marshall isn't the amazing one. I mean, the amazing ones are people like Thomas Massey, the Republican from the 4th District of Kentucky. He only took $2,700, $2,750 in exchange for his vote. Well, there's not a clear quid pro quo, but that's how much he took, and that's how he voted. You can infer the rest. Or Mark Meadows, the Republican from North Carolina's 11th District. He got $4,000. These are all M's, by the way. My list is alphabetical, so when you call, I can quickly look them up. And if you look at the Senate, of course, the numbers are a little higher. It costs more money to buy a senator. So Senator Jim Risch, the Republican from Idaho, he took $27,000. Pat Roberts, the Republican from Kansas, the senator, took $100,200. One of the ones who really cashed in was John Thune, the Republican from South Dakota. He took $215,000 to sell your privacy on the internet. So the question that I pose to you is, after I tell you, and by the way, you can track this down. If you go to The Verge, TheVerge.com, you'll see the article by T.C. Sadek. He just, somebody sat down and did the work. They went through Open Secrets and they pulled up all the donations to these individual members of Congress, both in the Senate and the House, from the telecom industry. And, they posted it. And 100% of these people are Republicans, all 265 of them Republicans. No Democrats on the list. So if you've got if you know who your member of Congress is, and if you don't know, I can't immediately help you. I can, because my list is alphabetical here, unfortunately. So I can't say, oh, you're in the, and I don't have, district maps. So I can't say, oh, you're in the 4th District of Wyoming or what. Actually, I think Wyoming only has one district. But anyhow, you get my point. So if you have So, you know, let's find out. For example, Dave in Columbus, Ohio, listening on WGRN. Hey, Dave, who's your member of Congress?
Well, my member of Congress is actually a Democrat, but one of my senators is a Republican, Portman.
Oh, Rob Portman. Okay, let me look him up. Rob Portman took $89,350.
All right.
So what should, you know, so when you call Rob Portman's office about that $89,350 that he got from the telco industry in exchange for his, you know, selling out your privacy, can you think of something witty to say? This is where I'm stuck. I'm not, you know, any ideas, David?
Well, I could just ask him if he got a new house or something. I just feel like the whole problem is not being exposing it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I think,
or you know, another question might be, okay, I understand that Senator Portman took $89,300 for his vote on selling my privacy. How much more would I have to bid to get him to vote to keep my privacy? Would I have to bid, you know, $10,000 more, make it $99,000? Would I have to bid $20,000 more? What is the bidding war in Senator Portman's office?
One of the interesting things I looked up was my former congressperson, T. Berry, started out as an aide to the congressman that was there, Kasich, who's now governor. And he became wealthy on a congressman's salary, which, you know, he was getting all this money from insurance companies, and, you know, it's just sad.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are getting rich on insider trading. You know, they you know, this is what Tom Price was doing, and the guy who's in charge of HUD, he's a physician, and whenever legislation came before him that had to do largely with pharmaceuticals or medical devices, where they were going to help or hurt a particular industry, he would buy or short their stock. And Preet Bharara, if I'm saying his name right, the federal prosecutor for the District of New York, was actively investigating Tom Price for corruption on this, for, you know, for a felony, when Donald Trump fired him. Question: is there a direct line between those two facts? Anyhow, David, thank you for the call, and we'll continue with your calls, and maybe somebody will have something really brilliant that we can say to these weasels when we call up their offices and say, "Really, you sold me out for $2,700? Who's your member of Congress?
My congressman is Pete King.
Okay.
I did look up at The Verge yesterday. He received $9,000 for his support.
No, I'm showing actually. Oh, Peter King. Yeah, $9,000. You're right.
Yeah. So I called his office prior to the vote and asked what how he intended to vote, and I was told that he didn't have an opinion at the time. Turns out that he did cast his vote the way I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
But what I did after that was I called up my local ISP, which on Long Island is Cablevision, and I asked them what their policy was, and they said that nothing was going to change in their policy. They redirected me to their privacy, existing privacy policy.
Right.
And I'm guessing that was governed by the FCC rules from before. I'm not a lawyer, so
yeah,
you know, I'm just hoping that things aren't going to change with them. But I would urge people to call up their providers.
Melissa in Riverview, Florida. Hey, Melissa, who's your member of Congress?
Hi, Tom. I can't wait to hear this one. Senator Marco Rubio.
Oh, Mr. Rubio. Let's see here.
While you're looking for him,
Rubio, Marco. He took $75,535.
Wow. I can't say I'm surprised, but wow.
Yeah. Yeah. See, the senators are typically more expensive than the members of the House. I would guess the average senator probably took around $80,000 or $90,000, although there's a few who didn't take so much. I mean, John Hoeven took $25,000. Jeff Flake only took $27,000. But then you got some who, you know, really hit the jackpot. Mitch McConnell took $251,000, $110,000. Anyhow, Melissa, thank you for that. Moving along here, Bill in Austin, Texas. Who represents you, Bill?
Yes, Michael McCall doesn't represent me, but he's the one that's taking up there.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Michael McCall.
McCall, M-C...
A-U-L.
It's funny, I'm not MC. Oh, here it is. Michael McCall, 10th District of Texas. He took $37,200.
I'm going to ask him, since he's the richest man or one of the richest men in Congress, why he needed $37,000 so badly that he had to sell me out.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Particularly since he made his money the old-fashioned way, he married it.
Yeah.
All you know is owns the Clear Channel Communications, one of
Oh, geez.
the real rich men in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask Mike. By the way, Austin was gerrymandered into 5 different districts to get rid of Lloyd Doggett, who voted, by the way, against this bill.
Right. It's
The other 4 that gerrymandered into Austin, all 4 of them Republicans.
Right.
Of course, voted for the bill.
They're trying to dilute the progressive vote. But, Bill, I got to move along. Kay in Sunset, Texas. Who represents you?
Well, I have Ted Cruz and also John Cornyn.
Okay, let's see here. Ted Cruz took $40,840. And John Cornyn took $148,800.
Good grief.
Yeah. These senators are cleaning up.
My husband works for a major company that they do a lot of online, business with other people in other countries. What do they have to say about, corporations that have employees that are on the internet and doing,
Well, the bigger corporations probably have the ability to basically secure all their traffic so that their internet service providers can't track it. But you and I, we don't have that capability. I mean, you can buy a VPN, you can pay extra money for it, but even then, if you're basically your VPN is simply replacing your internet service provider, and if they ever go under, or if they, whatever, it's it can be problematic. Kay, I got to move along, but thank you for the call. David in Bend, Oregon. Hey, David, who's representing you?
Well, it's Greg Walden, Tom. And
Greg Walden. He represents Oregon's 2nd, and he took $155,100. He took a lot of money for a member of the House.
I know. He's about the 5th one on the list of 265, but I want to tell you, I called his office to talk to people there yesterday. I was unhappy, and I explained to them why. And I don't know if there's a carve-out for members of Congress from this legislation, but then I contacted my local ISP, which is Ben Broadband here. They're owned by a Fortune 500 company in telephone and data systems, and I learned that they had put up on their website, Ben Broadband, yesterday, a privacy policy saying that they're not going to sell their information, our information, that they want to maintain their business relationships, and privacy is a big part of that. So I suggested people who are worried about this contact their ISPs. Now, I use Verizon. I might get a different story there.
Here's the problem, though. I guarantee you, if you read the privacy policy or into the contractual stuff on that website, it will say we can change this at any time.
I know that, but I was at least glad. I mean, this was the new privacy policy statement on their privacy policy dated March.
Yeah, some of them are starting to get some blowback. I guarantee you the big ones are, they'll give it lip service. Everybody's going to give it lip service. Doug in Fort Collins, Colorado. Hey, Doug, what's up?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good.
I'm glad to hear all the people calling from Colorado. We are a progressive state.
Amen.
I also called Corey Gardner's office, who you had just said got $95,000, $97,000.
Yeah.
I asked his office, why didn't they raise money the old-fashioned way and just get 3,000 people to give you $27? And they said they should refer me to his election campaign.
Right. Okay, Doug. Good on you. Thanks for calling me, and thanks for calling Corey Gardner's office.